Are you thinking of moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, and you have questions about where should you live? Where should you not live? So you are in luck today. You and I, your local realtor, will uncover the truth about Raleigh's crime and the community. I'll give you crime stats, I'll give you data, and everything you need to know to see if Raleigh is the place for you to live. If you are thinking of buying, selling, or investing in Raleigh, North Carolina, please reach out to me. The team and I would love to help you. We get phone calls, emails, and text messages every day.
Calls, texts.
From folks just like you. How is the crime in Raleigh, North Carolina? And I got a few articles that I thought I want to share with you guys. And unfortunately, I saw an article that I'm going to share with you guys. We're ranked the 15th highest homicide rate in the country. So this ranking was done by Wallet Hub, and this is what it says. This ranking places the city of Oaks, which is Raleigh, homicide issues above other notable crime-ridden cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, Los Angeles, putting Raleigh crime issues into noteworthy company. And more specifically, in the third quarter of 2023, Raleigh's per capita murder rate was 3.03, which basically means this: for every 100,000 residents in Raleigh, 3.03 were murders. Another article I found was saying Raleigh's crime rate has increased in some areas, but has decreased in other areas. So the local ABC News, Channel 11, showed the stats for the third quarter of 2023, which is between July and August. And this is what it shows. It said aggravated assaults were up during this time, but it showed a slight decrease in homicides, which kind of contradicts what the first article just said.
This is confusing.
A little bit. So a little confusing there. Not sure who was right, who was wrong. And of course, with weather being, better, more people are going to be out, and unfortunately more crime does happen when that occurs. So between this July and August time frame, I could see why the crime had gone up. It also said in this article, which was before the other article I just read to you, said that homicides were only at 13 this year, or 2023 so far in the third quarter, compared to the year before. It was 15 homicides. So they had 2 less homicides from the year before of 2022. There were 319 aggravated assaults during the third quarter of 2023 compared to the third quarter of 2022 only being 219. And aggravated assault, including a firearm, which is a gun, was up 40%. Property crimes was also up with the 501 cars that were stolen. So I went to a website called neighborhoodscouts.com. I highly recommend it. They give crime stats for any city, state in the country. So definitely check it out. I will put a link right here and also be in the description below. And also the other 2 articles will be in the description below. So what Neighborhood Scout said about Raleigh, North Carolina. It ranked Raleigh, North Carolina number 12 out of 100. It is not what you think. 100 was the best. So number 12 was the worst. Well, obviously number 1 is the worst, but we were ranked number 12. And as you can see the stats in front of you, it shows number of crimes. Violent crime was 2,375. Property crimes was 11,293, total of 13,668. Of course, this is per capita of 1,000 residents. As you see here, scroll down, you'll see violent crime is at 4.98 compared to North Carolina average of being 4.05. So a little slightly higher than North Carolina in general. Chances of becoming victim violent crime in North Carolina is 1 in 247. Now we go down to the property crimes and neighborhood scouts, and property crimes had a ranking of 23.7 for Raleigh, and it had a ranking of 20.64 for the national, which is North Carolina. So a little slightly higher, and property crime also. Nothing too crazy, I don't think, but of course that's up to you. The chance to become a victim of a property crime in Raleigh is 1 out of 42. And the chance to become a victim in North Carolina in general is 1 in 48. I'm going back to Neighborhood Scouts. I'm going to compare it to Durham, which is about a good 30 minutes away from Raleigh, maybe even closer. So it's one of the closest neighboring cities that is very large. And Durham got a ranking of 5, and 100 being the safest. Durham is number 5. Raleigh is number 12. Number of violent crimes for Raleigh was 1,186. Property crimes was 9,920, total of 11,906. Crime rate per 1,000 residents, as you can see that. Violent crime, unfortunately, violent crime in Durham was 6.8. And of course, the average for North Carolina is 4.05. So a little slightly higher than Raleigh, obviously, and the national average. So the chance of becoming a victim of violent crime is 1 in 47 in Durham. And it's North Carolina, it's 1 in 247. And we'll go down to private crimes. This is per 1,000 residents. So Durham got a ranking of 33.98 compared to North Carolina, which is 20.64. So almost double the amount of property crimes are in Durham compared to the national average. Chance to become a victim of a property crime in Durham is 1 in 29. And in North Carolina, it's 1 in 48. So comparing these two cities, not to pick on Durham by any means, I love Durham. I love going to their Bull Durham ball games. Duke University's there, of course, and it's a great looking city, and I love Durham, so I'm not here to pick on Durham by any means. Are you thinking of moving to Raleigh, North Carolina? Click on the link below to get my free location guide where I go over top schools, top neighborhoods, and I'll give you an inside look of what it's really like to live in Raleigh, North Carolina. The link will be below in the description and in the comments. So I also pulled the crime stats for 2022. I was only able to pull 2023. They didn't have that available just yet. I think, with it being the start of the new year, they don't have all of it yet. But so here are the crime stats for 2022. We had 2,404 violent crimes in 2022. That's a 5% increase from 2021. While Durham, which we just talked about, in the state overall saw declines. Overall violent crime in Wake County, 284,000 per 1,000 people, is still far lower than Durham, 643, and Mecklenburg, which is where Charlotte's at, 657, according to the data released by the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation this past fall. So I went to another website called deepcentennial.com and pulled up some more stats and compared it to other cities that are in North Carolina, crime-wise. So this website gave us the 10 cities in North Carolina that are not safe. So ranked Asheville at number 1 with 70.7 crimes per 1,000 residents. Goldsboro was next at 66.1 per 1,000 residents. Monroe was next, 62.1. As you can see, I'm not going to read all these off to you. Burlington, Salisbury, Hickory, Charlotte, Mecklenburg, Durham, number 8. Greensboro, number 9. And Fayetteville, where I live, is number 10. So if you didn't know this, I'm a retired federal police officer with 20 years of service for the state of North Carolina. And even though I still live in Fayetteville, I'm only about an hour and a half away from Raleigh. So I have driven up to Raleigh a few times to help people buy or sell homes. And I've also, with EXP Realty, so we have a lot of network agents there also that can help you if I'm not available. So I'll give you the top 10 lists of the not safest cities in North Carolina. Now I'll give you the safest cities in North Carolina with a population of 25,000 or more. Holly Springs was number 1. Wake Forest was number 2. Number 3 was Cary. Number 4 was Apex. Number 5 was Fuquay-Varina. Number 6 is Mooresville. 7 is Mint Hill. 8 is Chapel Hill. 9 is Huntersville. And number 10 is Concord. So if you look at the first 4 that is mentioned and number 8, which is Chapel Hill, these are all suburbs of Raleigh. Chapel Hill's a little farther, but I consider it, it's part of the triangle, which is Durham, Raleigh, Chapel Hill. So you get the 4 suburbs that are in Raleigh that are considered the safest with 25,000 or more. So even though you may not want to move to Raleigh itself, definitely the suburbs there are a good option if that's what you're looking for. Most people want to do that. They don't want to live in Raleigh just because it's so busy.
Suburbs.
It is a large city. People like living in the outskirts. And it's a little cheaper too if you're looking to buy a home. So next thing I talk about is going to be what the residents of North Carolina think of the crime in Raleigh. And I went to 2 sources, one being Area Vibes and one being niche.com. And this is what they both said. So Area Vibes conducted a poll and they asked local residents of Raleigh if they felt safe in Raleigh. So based on the survey, they received 173 responses, and this is what they said. 66% of people felt that there was very little crime in Raleigh and felt safe walking alone at night, while 34% of people thought it was not a safe place to live and did not feel safe walking alone at night. So niche.com did their own poll also, and they got 206 responses, and they asked these 2 questions, and they gave it 3 categories to choose from. So the first question was this: how safe do you feel in this area? And the answers were pretty safe. There are some concerns, but I generally feel safe, 66%. Very safe, there are no safety concerns, 25%. Somewhat safe, there are noticeable safety concerns, and there are times I don't feel safe, 9%. How effective is law enforcement in this area? So 50% said the police are very visible and very responsive. 24% the police are visible, but somehow responsibility when needed. And 14% said not sure. So you're probably asking what's causing all this rise in crime? Well, in my opinion, I think it's going to be obviously Raleigh's a great place to live. The economics, everything's coming to Raleigh. We've got Apple, Google, all these large businesses are coming. So it's bringing more people to the area, which obviously going to bring more crime. If you got a small little town like Mayberry, something like that, where you've got 100 people living there, obviously the crime rate is going to be a little smaller than Raleigh. So, with this economic boom that I think Raleigh's seeing and it's going to keep seeing, more people are going to move here, and unfortunately that brings more crime. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video right here. I'm moving to Garner, North Carolina, which is a suburb of Raleigh, North Carolina. And if you're thinking of buying, selling, or investing in a Raleigh area, please reach out to me. The team and I would love to help you. See you guys in the next video.